What's up? It's the phenomenal AJ Styles from Impact Wrestling visiting New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, because this is where it's happening. This is where everything goes down. This is one of the best cities I've ever been to.
It's not evil, just like being evil Knievel. I jump to the left and I roll to the right. Just trying to win the belt every night.
TNA's been around for 10 short years. We are a great company. Check it out. You know, if you hadn't had the opportunity to do that, we got some of the best wrestlers in the world, and you're missing out if you don't watch. If you don't watch Impact, you're missing out.
You were actually briefly signed to WCW, correct?
That's correct.
What was that like for you, getting signed by one of the biggest companies in the world, only for them to go out of business?
Well, it was a dream come true. I got signed by one of the biggest companies in wrestling.
Yeah.
And then a short 5 months later, they were out of business, and I was out of a job. But I was thankful for the opportunity and the people that I got to meet. And a lot of people ask me, what was it like when WCW was going out of business? I didn't know they were going out of business. Overall, it was a good experience, and I just went back to the independent scene after it was over and worked my way, to TNA.
Did you always intend for TNA to sort of be your home promotion per se, where you'd spend the next 10 years?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Like, I think I decided they were going to be my home promotion when they started paying me well. If Ring of Honor would have had the opportunity to do the same thing, I'm sure I'd been floating more towards their way. I'm glad I'm one of the first ever to be with TNA. I take pride in it. I love it. I want to see TNA succeed, get bigger and better, and I think that's only a matter of time. If you do anything for 10 years, you're going to get better at it, and I think that TNA gave me that platform to get better as a wrestler, and in that I've kind of fell in love with TNA. Blood, sweat, and tears, literally in that ring, and I just feel like I'm a part of that company, and whatever I can do to help them make it succeed is exactly what I'm going to do. It's in my blood.
You've been involved with so many sort of memorable moments. Is there one that really stands out for you, sort of your defining moment of your TNA career?
For me, it was winning the X Division title, and I say that not because it was a title, but it was the X Division that started off TNA. I mean, I think the X Division was the foundation of TNA, and why people watched it all. I'm not saying we're the cream of the crop or we were the best thing going, but we were pretty darn good, and we were something different. So I take pride in that. But a lot of people seem to they can't forget about the match between Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and myself. I mean, more people bring that up than anything, and so. It was announced the other day that it'll be Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, myself, and add Kurt Angle to the mix in Hardcore Justice. And that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I know what people are expecting in a great match, and I expect the same.
Do you think it has the potential to cost Unbreakable 2005?
There's no reason why it shouldn't. I mean, we already know that Daniels and Joe are great, and we all work well together, and we also know how great Kurt is. So I don't know how we can screw this up, to be honest with you.
You're working with Daniels now. You've been working with him on and off since 2005, even earlier. Do you find it a struggle to sort of keep things fresh when the two of you get in the ring?
I do. And I'm very proud of it when we do something new or something unexpected, and sometimes we have to go to lengths of really hurting ourselves to make sure that happens. The last man standing match that we had was, I thought, one of the better matches we had, which was totally different from any match we've ever had. But it was how we did it, just something so different than him and I are both used to. I mean, the bumps that we took on the stage were big bumps, but we felt like that's what we had to do to make it different, and we did that. I mean, it was just one of those matches like, wow, that was really good, and I'm excited about that. But to be honest with you, I'm almost sick of working him, and I think he would tell you the same thing. Like, it's time to move on and do different things and wrestle different people, for Pete's sake. We've been doing it for, 10 years or longer, but they've always been great matches.
Who would you say your favourite opponent has been over 10 years in TNA?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, we've got so many guys. I mean, low key, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Samoa Joe, Red, Kurt Angle. I mean, Kevin Nash. We've had, there's so many guys that, are so different, but we've had so many great matches. Bully Ray, I mean, just classic matches. So to pick one is impossible. You know, I think not this past Thursday, but the last, James Storm and I tore it up. It was just a match that just gelled real well together, and I thought we put on the show.
You mentioned Angle and Daniels, who you've been the tag team champions with both of them. How do you find wrestling tag matches? What's your preference, singles or tag wrestling?
You know, I really wanted to tag with Kurt and go on with this for a while, but it wasn't in the cards. So it depends. I mean, when you feel like you got something, you know, with Kurt and I thought, well, we had whatever it was, we had it together, and I thought it would have made a great tag team. But like I said, it wasn't in the cards, and I have no problem going out on my singles and doing my thing there either.
What is the worst injury that you've had in your wrestling career?
I think the worst injury when I tore my hip labrum. That kind of sucked. It was just one of those, probably just the worst pain I've ever had in my life, which sounds silly, but I don't know what it is about your hip. When you hurt that, man, it kills you because you can't move. You can't do anything. It's brutal. But luckily, I came back pretty quickly from an injury like that, and you know, and I very rarely think about, you know, being hurt like that. I've forgotten what hip it is at this point, so it's a good thing.
When did that happen? Was that in the match?
I had strained some, you know, my hip and another, you know, but didn't realize it. So when I was at home, you know, I kind of took off on a scare run. One of my kids tried to run this four-wheeler up a tree, and I took off after him. And that freak, you know, from a scared dad, you know, just reacting, that's when I tore it. And I didn't know at the time. It was just, but the next night I couldn't even walk and had to be helped to a car, and you know, got to the hospital, had to get a wheelchair. I mean, it was that bad I couldn't walk.
Do you ever have a moment in your career where you sort of were able to take a step back and think you've made it as a pro wrestler?
Absolutely not. Has it made the right choice? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no question. I made the right choice. There's no regrets in what I've done. Yeah, you know, I turned WWE down, you know, years ago, and within a couple months, TNA started up. So to me, it was just a blessing that, you know, it was a hard pill to swallow, not going there, but it was the right decision.
Been sort of any other perks that you've found of being a wrestler, sort of your celebrity? You're in a music video from something to do with your hands, is that?
yeah, something. It was a country music video. A young lady, Sarah Darling, and it's a great song. She and her manager asked me to be a part of it. I was, and it turned out to be something really great. And little things like that I love doing. You know, just love being a part of that. I've had a chance to meet some of my guys I look up to, and it's just little bitty things like just getting like when you're signing autographs. I got a toboggan, not a toboggan, a toque, if you will, or a beanie. How's that?
Yeah.
I'll go down the list of what things are called. But I got that in a scarf, and you know, it's little things like that, and like, that's cool. You know, that was really cool. I got hooked up by North Melbourne Kangaroos, you know, so I'm definitely a Kangaroos fan, AFL. Of course, you guys don't watch that down here. Yeah, so just so you know, I have my my Warriors jersey, just so you know, and I'll be attending a league game tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. So those are just some of the little perks that I get to do and enjoy doing.
Very nice. All right, and finally, AJ, I've got to ask, you're out here. What's the chances of bringing TNA Impact Wrestling as a whole getting a live tour down here?
You know, I've been asked that question already before, and I want TNA down here as bad as anybody else. It's just finding a way to do it and making it cost effective. We don't have all the money that WWE has, so it's a little bit harder, and the fact that they aren't coming down here means it's not as cheap as some might think, but we've got to find a way to make it cost effective, and I think that we could put on a great show. Probably, do I dare say, one of the best shows you guys have ever seen. So it's all about getting the fans in here, making sure they know what it's all about, and then when we're done, I guarantee you they'll be on the next show. We've got to get down here first, and I'm going to do my best to go back and report to Dixie how important it is that we come down here and how the fans want us down there, and what a bunch of great fans they are. So listen, I'm enjoying myself. You should too. You know what? Why don't you go to this website, NZPWI.co.nz, and check it out.